Made it just in time. Made it just in time. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. Happy Monday to everybody. Put happy Monday in the chat. Put happy Monday in the chat. That's right, Rebecca. I'm telling people to use more than put a 4 in the chat. I'm telling you, put some letters in. Stephanie! Good morning to you, Stephanie. Good seeing you. Oh, good morning, everybody. I'm excited about today's show because you all know, literally, 30 days from today, it is Key West time. It is Key West time today. I am so excited. 30 days. Let's just be honest, John Root. Let's just be completely honest. I'm a little stressed too. I'm excited and stressed all at the same time. We're just going to call it how it is over here, but we're figuring it out. I was talking to my dad yesterday. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Thankful and thanking all those who sent me messages and just so very thoughtful of you all to think of me on Father's Day. And so thank you so much for that. And so I was having a talk with my dad, and where was I going with my dad? What was he doing? Oh, he sent me this nice, my dad always sends me like articles, and you'll notice it's not a link, it's literally an article with a piece of paper that comes to my house that he personally delivers, like just like old times. He'll come to my house. He came over Friday afternoon, and he's like, this is what he does. By the way, like I'm literally working on the phone, and this is what my dad does. Brock, could I show you something? And I like look at him. I'm like, Dad, I'm on the phone right now. He's like, yeah, but I want to show you this article. So I was like, all right, Dad. And I was talking to Lori, I like, Lori, I'm gonna have to call you back. My dad's got an article I guess I gotta see right now. And he pulls it out, and he's like, I got this Father's Day article I read, and I wanted you to take a look at it. In the back of my head, I have two thoughts. One, seriously, Dad, like seriously, this is the article. And two, I am so blessed and thankful because at one point in my life, I'm going to wish that I could say Happy Father's Day to you, and I'm going to wish that you're able to be here. And so I was just like, let's talk about this article. And so I had this article I was going to use today, but I'm not going to because two other things came up. One is I'm about to share kind of a story, and two is I wanted to bring Jim on because Jim is one of our speakers. And what I want to do these next 30 days, many of you know our leaders that are on the show, but I also want to introduce some of the speakers that are speaking at our Success Summit because you don't know their story. You don't know behind their scenes. And one of the things, Jade, that I wanted to share with you all, and I didn't forget our affirmation. I did not forget our affirmation. So everybody, if you're worried about my affirmation, I got it. But I want to share with you this story first. And so I was listening to this story and how Jim came. No, let's do the affirmation first. I'm doing the affirmation first because I can't do the transition. I won't be able to do the transition. It won't work in my head the way I want it to be. So we'll do that. Let's do the affirmation. We all know the affirmation. Everybody comes off of mute. Everybody comes off of mute. I don't care what you're doing. Just be safe if you're driving. But everybody comes off of mute. And on the count of 3, we all know we're going to say it like we mean it and we feel it. So on the count of 3, we're all going to say it together. 1, 2, and 3.
Something good is going to happen to me.
Something good is going to happen through me and my family.
Oh, I love that. Somebody added my family too. Somebody put a little extra juice into that. I love it. I love it. Now the big thing is like who all remembers to put themselves back on mute because I hear some funny stories sometimes. I hear some funny things. So let me just share with you kind of how this intertwined and why I did the affirmation first. I was listening to, this is going to be crazy, but go to your keyboard, put a 7 in the chat if you've heard of this athlete. His name is Michael Jordan. Put a 7 in. Sounds crazy. Put a 7 in the chat if you've heard of Michael Jordan. He played basketball, in case you're wondering. He was a really good basketball player. And so Michael Jordan, for several years, many years, if you study his history of how dominant this man was during an 11, 12-year span, he won the scoring title Okay. And to win the NBA scoring title, what that means is they take the average number, you have minimum games that you have to play, and then they take the average games with the number of points you score, and they come up with your average on how many points you scored per game. And so if you study his average points per game compared to the second place or third place, and the reason why they strive for this, just in case you're wondering, do you think it has some financial impact? Do you think it has, if you won the number one leading score, what that does? And when they studied the financial impact, it wasn't like they gave you an extra $10. It was millions of dollars. You substantially made more money. Okay. And so how this comes into play with Jim is Jim's like, wait a minute, I wasn't like playing the NBA. Like, what are you talking about, Brock? But just bear with me, y'all, because there's a really good important point when I listened to it this morning. So when they studied Michael Jordan, the difference between first place and second place, the average was about 2 points, less than that sometimes. And in the NBA, y'all, for those that don't follow the NBA, I'll give you a little clue. One basket is how many points? 2 points. So in life, all, Rebecca's got all her balloons over there with her numbers. In life, all, in the reality of Michael Jordan, he was one shot away from the others. That's all he was. It wasn't 10 shots. It wasn't a huge number like he had to be 10 buckets away. He was literally one basket away for many years. That's all he was. The reason why Jim's on here, the reason why Jim is speaking on here is because he's that one individual that elevated me and separated me to success. You're one shot away, one basket away, one person away, one phone call away, one event away, one coach away, one mentor away from changing your life. It wasn't 3 people. It wasn't 10 baskets. It was one freaking basket that he made extra each game. And sometimes it was just a free throw. And so why I share this with you is some of you are coming up with friction not to be in Key West. You're coming up with challenges thinking that there's some huge thing that's causing you this difference for you not to go and grow. And Jim Morris was a guy that I met when I was telling you about Chad Free, and him and I got on the same stage, scared shitless out of my mind because it was $10,000 to go on stage to pay for this coaching event. And let me just tell you all, I didn't have a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out. None of my credit cards even came to 10 grand. And that's a story in itself, because I remember sitting there like, how do you want to pay for this, Brock? Well, I probably should have thought about that before coming on stage. But see, Jim Morris was the first person to come on stage. He impacted my life that day. He doesn't even know it at the magnitude that he's done it. But it happened at an event. It happened at a conference. And he came on stage and he was the first person. I was like, that son of a bitch. There was like over 100 people in this room. And it was thousands of dollars just to get into the room, to just let you know. And it wasn't like a full long week. It was like for 6 hours, you spend several thousands of dollars. And then it was 10 grand to go to this next coaching event. I was like, who the hell does this guy think he is? What is he doing? He stands up there. And now the guy that's speaking, he starts really driving it home to me. I'm one basket away from making a decision. I'm one step away from getting to that stage because I sat in the first row. And I said, son of a bitch, I'll figure out how to pay for this some capacity in some way. And I joined Jim on that stage. And that's where Jim and I met. First time on the stage. I always say it cost me $10,000 to meet Jim. I said I could have done it a different way, but it cost me 10 grand to meet this guy.
Wait, you paid 10 grand, I paid 15.
Woo! I got a deal. But that's how you and I met, Jim. And since then you've been doing things that just make you did an event. The first time this guy freaking does this huge event in Nashville. Thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. I was like, man, that guy's crazy. Guys, if you don't know somebody who's not crazy in your life, you're not around the right people. You got to be around people that are crazy. You got to be around people that are doing things at a level you're just like, holy smokes. And so I asked Jim to speak at the event at Key West because he's crazy. He's one of those people that will make you think differently, do things differently. He's doing it through artificial intelligence. He's doing it in an authentic way. He helps me many times. Him and I I was going through my divorce and I was supposed to speak with him in October. And I was like, man, I can't afford it. I can't come out there. I'm sorry. And I fought it for a month, 6 weeks of like scared to tell the guy. Cause I was like, man, I can't be there. I'm so sorry. I can't even drive there. I don't even think I have enough money for gas, let alone a hotel. And Jim said to me, he said, bro, don't worry about it. There'll be more. There'll be more opportunities. And little did I know that God was setting us up to meet in Key West, and I'm hosting it. So, guys, I wanted to bring Jim on to share a little bit of his story, what he's been through, and a little bit about what he's going to be talking about. Because somebody here today, right this very moment, is one phone call away from picking it up and having a conversation with me, and saying, "Brock, I want to come to this event. I don't know how yet, but I want to come to this event because I was that person. I get it. We'll figure it out." Because you're one person away that you will meet at this event that will change your life, just like Jim has changed my life. So, guys, put some fives in the chat. Put some love in the chat as I welcome my man from Nashville, Tennessee, Jim Morris. Good morning, brother.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm excited for Key West. You know, I keep finding all these little cool nuggets and these things around the hotel and all these, great coffee shops. I'm like searching every week, like, what am I going to do in Key West? Who am I going to meet? What am I going to experience? So, super excited to be here. Super excited to pour into the audience. So from someone who has really built a life that he loves, stemming from being an attendee in an event. Events have a special place for me and all the people that have come to my events and I've impacted. So when Brock said, dude, I'm going to do an event, I'm putting the audience first. I'm pouring everything I can into this. I'm putting my name on it, my family, forking up my funds, right? Because we know events take a lot of money. They take a lot of upfront capital and a lot of investment. I was so excited. And the reason why is because, like I had just mentioned, an event had changed my life. I was out in LA at a specific event several years ago, and I heard someone say something on stage that I heard that person say 5 years prior on a podcast. It's Brad Lee and Ed Milet. And it hit me so deep and so powerful in that moment that after I heard that statement, I immediately went to my phone, built a list of things I needed to do, who I needed to become, and how I needed to develop a better relationship with myself in order to show up and build better relationships with others, to grow and impact the people I wish and want in my life. That changed my life. That was 4 years ago. And I found the relationship with myself, and I've created a life and a level of happiness I never thought I'd have. So when Brock says he's doing an event, when Brock says he's putting the audience first, when Brock says he's pouring everything into this, when Brock says he's putting his last name on his family name, his kids, his beautiful children, everything is going into this event. You've got to be there. You've got to be there. Because here's the difference between an event you may have been to and the event that Brock's about to put on in Key West 30 days from now is Brock cares. He cares about you and your success, so much so that he's just as crazy as me and has invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into this thing to ensure that it will change your life for the better and for the future, because you deserve it and Brock knows you deserve it. So I just want to start off by saying that these moments, this isn't your typical event. This isn't your typical lunch and learn. This isn't your, hey, let's, throw a bunch of stuff on a whiteboard and a PowerPoint. This is well thought out. And you know why? Because Brock and I talk almost every other day about this thing. How to make it better, how to show up and change lives, how to create more impact. So I just wanted to start off by saying, if you're going to not make it to Key West, you're going to have some regret. And the only reason why I can look you in the eye and say that fully and confidently is because I know the heart, I know the work, I know the team, and I know Brock. And what he's building is to get you to a point of success where you don't have to consider, you don't have to worry, you don't have to think about leads, you don't have to think about money, and you don't have to think about coming to the next one, because he's going to blow up your business and he's going to ride along with you the whole time. So I'm just really excited about that, because I do speak at a lot of events. I do get on several stages, and this one's different. It means more and there's a lot more heart. So I'm just so excited to see everybody and spend time.
Appreciate it, brother.
I've really been thinking about this, this experience, because I've got several speeches, and I just did one recently, and it blew up, right? It was an amazing room. There was 40 people lined up waiting to talk. They wanted to, do coaching and all these things and hire us for their marketing company and all that. But I really ripped it apart after, because of how important it is for you real estate agents to be successful right now. And what we're going to bring to you and bring to the table is not just new ways to market, not just new trends or hip things that are happening from a marketing standpoint to grow your business. We're going to humanize the process. We're going to get to the roots. We're going to dive into deep human connection. We're going to understand the psychology and the decision-making biases around why someone is intrigued by your marketing and converts to a lead and then a sale, and understand exactly why someone isn't. And I'll give you a perfect example, especially in the real estate space, because I have lived in the real estate space. I don't transact anymore, solely on the investment side, but I've done 50, 60 transactions a year previously. The number one thing that we see from a trending standpoint, that we see in a marketing leads generation standpoint in the real estate industry, is exactly what your cousin, brother, uncle, sister, friend, and teammate is doing. It's all the same. And a majority of it is coming from ChatGPT, right? We live in a world where you don't write your listing descriptions anymore. You don't write your emails. You don't write your text messages, probably, especially if you're doing mass emails or texts. Well, I'm going to show you and break down the components of deep human connection, and then how to layer those into using AI and into building your business, so you're generating leads, your calendars are full, and ultimately you're closing more deals, shaking more hands, and building an inner circle of a network that's going to pay for your vacations, your events, your growth, your trips, your Father's Day plans, your getaways for this year, next year, and every year moving forward, because you're building that deep human connection. So that's what I'm excited about. That's what I've dedicated my entire life to, is human connection, and then weaving it in and understanding psychological decision-making and biases to convert those leads into sales and grow your business. So I'm fired up, Brock. I'm fired up. It's only 7:30 here in Tennessee, and I'm excited to get on that plane to Key West.
I love it, man. You're in John Hart's territory over there in Teeny Seed that he has. And one is, I appreciate your words and what you said. Where's Robin? Robin was with me. I flew down to Key West in February to start this journey, to figure out where this was going to be, what venues we're going to use. And I remember saying many times, I'm like, God, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I remember some of you, I was on the show Monday driving back, and I was just like, it's that mixture of business and pleasure and all that stuff. And I'm just like, what am I doing? You kind of have like pinch me moments. And every time I was with somebody, every conversation, every hotel I went to, every catering person, every I don't even know how many different people I talked to. I set a boating for the happy hour, for the restaurants, for the sunset cruise. I'd say this. I want to create experience for my audience. How are we going to do that? That's exactly what my question was every single time I talked to somebody. And if they didn't have a very good answer, I'd tell Robin, like, we'll find out within that answer how long I'm going to talk to this person. Because if they didn't have a very good response and it sounded very typical, I was just like, this isn't for me. I want an experience that when people leave Key West, they're like, damn, that was really good. I wasn't expecting that. See, in life there's certain things we expect and certain things we don't expect. If you don't do the work, if you don't do the energy, if you don't put forth the action, if you don't work out, can you expect to lose weight? Can you expect to have more money? Jim Rohn said last week, I talked about that. Majority of the time, we expect a problem to take place. We expect issues to happen, challenges to take place. We expect that. Like, oh, what's going to happen today? Instead of waking up being like, man, I can't wait to impact other people. Hence the name of your company, Jim, and what you did. But the thing all that I want everybody to walk away with, and Jim, I'm going to ask you a question here. But what do you expect today? What'd you wake up? Was it a negative thought? Was it a positive thought? Was it something like, how am I going to get through the day? Where's my next dollar coming? Where's my next deal coming? There gets to a point in life that you're going to get tired of living that. And it's a hamster wheel day in and day out, day in and day out. I had somebody talk to me yesterday about a serious situation that they are in. And I'm blessed and fortunate that they trusted me with the conversation. And I leaned in and I kind of shared with the person. I said, it's going to be a rough road. It's going to be, I've been in those shoes. It's going to be extremely hard. But as I sit here today, you will get through it because I got through it and you will too. And so, Jim, for those people who are listening right now, on one of your challenging moments you had in your life, your most darkest times that you had, and I've been blessed that you've shared with me some of them. What would be one story you're willing to share with us for somebody who might be trying to figure out how they're going to get to the other side? Could you share something that you went through that could inspire somebody today?
Of course. So 2023 was that first conference that Brock had mentioned that I had put on. He'd mentioned I invested a lot of money, so 240,000 of liquid cash up front to put that conference on. Every dollar I had, credit cards, everything. We had a 66,000 square foot venue. 350 people packed out, filet mignon.
You went big, man. You went big. When you told me,
it was crazy.
Just like, damn.
But I didn't have to do that stuff, right? So there was a learning process in that where an experience is great, but some of those details weren't necessarily needed, right? So there was some mistakes made in that process. And I I just had our first child. I've been married for 9 months. And I was 30 days out. I went to my team. My salesperson quit. My sponsorship team had been lying to me, saying that they had $50,000 on the books, had 700 in sponsorships, and we were about 30 days out. I think 31 to be exact. So as if, the same time period you're in right now, Brock, right?
Yeah, that 30-day mark, I hit it to me square in the face yesterday. I'm laying out by the pool and I'm just like trying to like relax, and all of a sudden I'm like, shit, I'm like freaking 30 days out from this thing. And then my brain just started going.
It's real. It's real. And everything fell apart. So now you've got this massive event. I've got an operations director and myself. That's it. And I had some outsource help like AV and things like that, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So at the end of the day, I was in a situation where I went to a coach who I paid a lot of money to, and he was going to help me with this process because I knew I didn't know what I didn't know. And I'm excited for the call. Everything's falling apart. I got my mindset flipped. I'm positive. I'm ready to go. And then boom, we get on the call and he's like, "Well, why don't you cancel it?" And I was like, "You're the one that told me to do the event. What do you mean cancel it? You're the one that told me playing small is canceled. You're the one that told me to move through it." So now I'm in this situation where I have paid help that's not even helping me, and we're not even in alignment. He's telling me to cancel it and play smaller when I'm already vested everything I had. In that moment, everything was crumbling and I didn't know what to do. I started feeling guilty that my wife just married someone who's going to fail. At that time, I was selling 50, 60 homes a year, making 450,000, 500K a year. And I put all that real estate on the side to build this event. So I have no money really coming in. I've got some deals going on, right? I've got expenses. I've got credit cards. I've got a coach who I paid who's no help to me in this point. And everything's crashing in. And I started to have those thoughts like, wow, I messed up everything. This is going to ruin me for life. And it was one conversation that I had with one person that pushed me from 49%, from 50% to 51%. Got my mind right, moved the needle just a little bit, broke things down into smaller, less stressful tasks that I needed to do. And after that phone call, I got up, I walked inside, I closed like $7,000 worth of business that day. That pushed me for the last 2 years straight to go full into research around psychology and human connection because I was going to give up on my number one dream. I want to impact people the way that event in Long Beach, California impacted and changed my life. That event, that one person on that stage at that time in 2022 pushed me to develop a better relationship with myself, create my own levels of happiness, and find love in myself again. Which in turn, I'm actually writing a book about this right now. This all stemmed from that one event. So in my situation, making that phone call to that one person, being honest and vulnerable, someone who knows where my heart is, knows my beliefs, knows my values, they made me feel heard, they made me feel seen, and ultimately they made me feel valued. And it gave me the motivation and inspiration to take one more step forward, push through. And we had 356 people come to the event. We had 16 speakers. We ate filet mignon for breakfast. People are still sending me photos. I had over 130 text messages saying I've changed their life or positively impacted them from that one conference, and it still comes up today. I still see people posting stuff online about it. I still see people coming on my podcast. Heck, I just hired a client for our marketing company who came to my event in 2023. These things are just, there's so much pressure, and we need that one person that we can connect with to push us through to the other side. I mean, I did a TED Talk on this last year, this exact concept. I shared these 3 massive situations in my life where I thought everything was imploding, and that was one of them. Everything on the line. And it was someone, not something, that changed my life. That was the catalyst for me to follow my dreams and continue to grow.
I love it.
Here's the thing, folks. Brock wakes up every day and wants to be that person for you. If you're on this call and you're listening, I can guarantee it. Brock wants to push you that 1%. Brock wants to change your life. Brock wants you to follow your dreams and to have less stress and more happiness. And I can guarantee it because I know Brock's heart. He's been there in the challenging times. I've been there for him. We talk often. We do business together. We work together. And what I can tell you is if you're in one of these moments, find your person, not your AI tech, not your new chat GBT. Like, find someone who's been there, who understands it, and wants the best for you, and is going to tell you straight up how it is. And that person is Brock Zevan. So I hope to see you in Key West, because, man, I don't think you understand the impact you're having on so many people. I know that Rachel recently was on the show. She was just so elated about her experience. I've Amberly Lago I'm speaking with in October at a conference in Philly. So I'm excited to talk about you and how you've impacted her as well. There's just so many things happening. And if you're not on if you're not on Brock's team in some way, shape, or form, that's a decision you have to make. He can't make that for you. All he can do is help you build and help you grow once you're on the team.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. It was like, I didn't even, I don't know. Thank you. I don't take compliments very well. So thank you. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you being on here. Guys, we want you these next several weeks. You're going to hear more and more from the speakers. It's important to understand that that's why I led with the Michael Jordan, to be able to see the magnitude of what changed his life in the financial impact and what he had and what he became as an athlete. He just made one more basket. So you're one person away, one event away, one engagement, one conversation away that can transform your life and to do things that you never thought is possible. And for those of you who are thinking like, is he talking to me right now? Yes, we are. So guys, it is 8:48. I appreciate the extra 3 minutes you all gave me. Put a 5 in the chat if you got something out of today. Put a 5 in the chat if you got something out of today in some capacity, in some way. If you're now thinking a little bit more like, man, how can I do it? What could it look like? Guys, let me know. There's things that we can do to help you out so you could be in the rooms with us in Key West 30 days from now. I appreciate you all so much. Jim, thank you so much for being on here. I don't know where he just went, but I don't know. He disappeared. But all right, all guys, have a great one. I don't know who's leading tomorrow. Chad Free sent a message out. He might be on tomorrow. He might not be on tomorrow. We might have a switch. You just never know. Well, you never know what we got going on. I appreciate y'all tremendously. Thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8:15 Eastern time. God bless you. See ya.